Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Nerds on Culture with Stormybman for this Monday, September 22nd, 2025. This is number 135 in our series of Nerds broadcasts. And this evening, we're taking you back to 1994 and a classic crime thriller called Blown Away, starring Jeff Bridges, Tommy Lee Jones, in a film that really took audiences by storm by presenting a little bit of what we would become more familiar with. Homeland terrorist acts. And the film also starred Susie Daniels and Forrest Whitaker, and in a rare appearance, the dad of Jeff Bridges, Lloyd Bridges. So, this movie, when I first saw it in the theaters back in 1994, it had put something on my mind about something I didn't know about. And that was kind of like the little bit of a war that was going on over in Ireland. And separatist groups that were waging against one another for intercultural differences. But you had to be someone that had a little bit of an understanding or even connection and knowledge of what was going on over there. And typically in our community, stuff like that, we may not be abreast of everything. So the film was a little bit educational too, but it also showed that people who live outside of the US, they kind of view things a bit differently than we do, especially when it comes to what you are willing to put your life on the line for. So this is what we're going to talk about this evening, and allow me to welcome my co-host and partner in crime here. We got Drew Titan in the building with us this evening to bring this conversation to light on this particular film. What's going on with you, Drew? How you doing this evening?
Salute. All praises Godzilla. Salute,
Yes,
like minds think
sir.
alike. Salute to Eric Jordan.
Salute to Eric Jordan. Appreciate
Yep.
you, EJ. And this was not planned. We both came on tonight and we were like,
By accident.
we're sporting the merch, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you, brother.
Salute Eric Jordan, man, for real. Yeah, this movie, this came out, I forgot what month, but I remember I watched it and I hadn't planned on it. But like when you from the beginning of the movie, you get like suckered in, like, oh, what is this? And being that we are where we are today.
Yeah.
Because this
was
was
in July of 94. July
so it was the summer.
1994.
I saw this in the summer because I remember seeing this in the theaters. And I saw it again on VHS. What's frightening, Stormy, is that things have happened. They've happened since then. And aren't there things that's happened in the movies that we've watched that's happened after 9/11 that makes you think, oh man, I remember watching something like this, and you know, because this ain't the only one. No. Sidebar: what's the name of the movie with Samuel L. Jackson when he was some sort of interrogator and he was trying to find that dude that had a nuke? And they said, we don't like hiring this guy because he's too extreme. And the first thing he did was he came.
Negotiator?
No, not The Negotiator. It was a movie where they brought Unthinkable.
Huh?
Unthinkable.
There you go. There you go.
Man, that we got to do that one soon.
Yeah, definitely. Let me write it down.
Because that was another one. It's like, oh man, he was a little extreme, but turns out he was right.
And then there was another one that Jeff Bridges played in that we can go to in the future as well, and that was Arlington Road.
Oh.
With he and Tim Robbins.
Bro.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that you watch these films and right now in 2025, you look back and say, all of this crap is possible. Yeah. If the FBI ain't on it like that, one mistake. Because listen, a lot of y'all are young. A lot of y'all were young or either babies when 9/11 happened. I was an adult. I was at work that day. And I gotta tell you, when that happened, you're looking up like, this just doesn't happen. We're smarter than this. And this movie came out in 1994. So you watch it like, well, you know, thank God that's just Hollywood. Nope. And what I'm telling y'all is, with politics and, you know, everything that's happened since 9/11, I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't live here, y'all don't understand. 9/11 changed the whole trajectory of New York.
Hey, and then you recall what happened in Boston, in the Boston
Marathon? The marathon.
Just a few years later, after this film was released. Now, imagine this for a moment. I'm going to take a quick moment and read a little bit of the plot. A breakdown. Not the plot itself, but I'm going to read a little bit. It says, Blown Away is a 1994 American film, action thriller, directed by Stephen Hopkins, and follows a Boston bomb squad member pursuing an Irish bomber who recently escaped from prison in Ireland and is targeting the other bomb squad members. The film was distributed and financed by MGM a studio which was in financial difficulty at the time. The head of the studio was former Paramount executive Frank Mancuso Sr. Listen, this film, that whole premise of the bomb squad member played by Jeff Bridges pursuing an Irish bomber, he was actually familiar with the man because they come up together under the same group of rebels. Let's just call them that to be easy on the wording. But the lead bomber, which was Tommy Lee Jones, who really got off on making bombs of all sorts. And he was a very intelligent man that can make deadly explosives out of basic materials and would do a lot of damage. So when he went to prison for his actions, and Jeff Bridges ended up migrating to the US and took a job on the bomb squad in Boston. Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting is this. His knowledge of how to defuse bombs and knowing how bombers think, because he had that experience in his background from where he came from, which he did not reveal. When he came to be a part of the American Police Department, Boston Police Department bomb squad, he just came across as a really intelligent guy and everything, but he never gave wind of his background. And that's what set up the deadly circumstances for the members on his team. Because once Tommy Lee Jones's character found out that he had migrated to Boston himself, and he saw him on television after having defused a bomb in a serious threatening situation where the news people were there and they had him coming out of the facility having done what he did, and he was like, oh, so this is where you've been all these years. So he immediately had something to go. Let's think about that for a moment, Drew, because we talk about this often, about how those folks, they could walk around and live a different life just because of their appearance. Right. And they could be some of the deadliest people in the world, and you would never know it, because this nation is so busy villainizing the melanated family that they sometimes can't see threats, foreign and domestic. Right? So this film really shows you that. And guess who's in it? Forrest Whitaker. You see? And Forrest Whitaker comes across as an American that is cocky, like Americans can be. He's a little bit brazen, but he's definitely capable and intelligent. But his ignorance leads to not only serious mistakes and loss of life, but also circumstances that find him. I think that they used Forrest Whitaker as an actor, as a tool in this film, but he's representative of the American.
Right.
That's what he, they didn't have to cast him because it, once again, villainizes to a certain degree that melanated man. But when you think about it, he does represent the American, who's a know-it-all, can do it all, and all of that. But find themselves, when you're dealing with forces and elements that you have no knowledge of, you're at the mercy. Your thoughts?
I mean, so much to that you touched on, really. How do I say? Well, there's no other way to say it. Law enforcement. You see, I'm dressed. Back when I was on the job, didn't matter whether I was dressed like this, going to the gym, coming from the gym, or dressed in a button-up with some jeans and Air Force Ones. I look up in that mirror, who's behind me? I tell the story, and this is all relevant to the movie, actually. I tell the story about when I was in junior high school. We had to be in the yard at 8:05, but like 7:30 we all be outside. We go to the shopping center and go to the store that was owned by Koreans at the time. And
hurry up and buy.
Yeah, hurry up and buy. Hurry up and buy. Yeah. And it was a short Korean lady, and she had glasses on, and at the time she had salt and pepper hair. And she had like a grandson that was our age, but he didn't go to school with us. He went somewhere else. And, you know, we only saw him in the afternoons. We went to that store twice, one in the morning and sometimes after school. We used to go there to get our candy and everything that gave us diabetes today. Chico sticks, Slim Jims. The Slim Jim wasn't the brand, though. It was something else. It was an off-brand, but it was still good. You know, the candies and stuff. And she would follow me and my brown friends all around the store. But I had a litness of white friends, right? 3 boys, 2 girls. And this little Korean lady followed us all through the store. But my buddies, the other buddies, the white buddies, they were in the back. And when we left, we paid for everything. When we got to the hill and made the left, they got whole cartons of orange juice, packs of bologna, and my buddy, you know, and he's taking the bologna packs and he's playing frisbee with it. I mean, these were like, at the top, $1.99 packs of meat. I mean, this is something that your parents would buy and say, we make your sandwiches. This has to last all week long. And he's playing frisbee with the fucking bologna. And I'm like, man, all year long, they were robbing her blind, and it wasn't us, right? And I tell the story that years later, now I'm grown, children of my own, right? I go down to the store, and now who's behind the cashier? The kid that I only said hello to. Now he's grown, he's my age, and now he's bound. You know, I see him, I dap him up when I would see him. Yo, what up, man? How you doing? You know, good to see you. These are my kids now, right? Who's there? Grandma. Now her hair's all white. She's a little hunched over now. I walk down the aisle and I look up and she's following me with the fucking babies. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked and let me tell you something about being familiar and just being when you normalize things in your mind. I looked up and I just smiled and said, man, that's an old woman. I don't even know her name. We gave her a name, but it's very racial. But she deserved that shit. Right? And I looked up, I said, there she is again. And then I went to the next aisle, I looked, I said, there she is again. And I said, wait a minute, I'm fucking grown now. I've never stolen from this store a day in my life. My white friends did. We're paying 15 cents, buying now and laters and getting all our stuff, and it's hurry up and buy. Oh, wait, you put that there, put that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Larry and Jeremy, all the motherfuckers up there, they stealing whole packs of lunch meat, quarts of orange juice. They're walking out with groceries and we're buying like candy and chips. And when I got to the third aisle and looked up and I saw her, I said, wait a minute. And I went back with the stuff and I put it down. And I said, what's up with grandma? And he already knew what time it was because I couldn't have been the first person to tell her this. And he said, yo, you know, that's just, I said, bro, you don't know my name, but you know me. I've been coming here since, we were kids. Never stolen out of here. But all my white friends that don't live around here no more, they must have got y'all for at least $500 a month. I said, you know what, man, fuck this. I told the kids, put the things down. We're leaving. And he didn't even fuss with me. He was like, hey, man, I know. And she just standing there with this look on her face, man, fuck you. Now, why did I bring that up? Forrest Whitaker's character. Just watch the movie. When you say American character, what comes to your mind? Not Falcon as Captain America, I'll tell you that. Something tragic has to happen for a black man to represent America, right? I mean, we talk about boxing all the time. We say American fighter, American boxer. Who comes to mind first? Jerry Cooney? Caleb Plant? Tommy Morrison? Who? It's always somebody black, right? But we're treated in such a manner. You know, I'm sorry, Stormy. It just took me somewhere.
No,
You know what I mean? But you know, whatever we do, we got to be 10 times better at it. And what's sad is when I was in the store, and that store's still there. I haven't seen. No, you know what? I'm sorry. They sold it because there's some Mexicans working in there now. I don't know if they own it and just hired them, but I don't see. But the store's still there. They just move stuff around. But when that happened, it was about maybe 8 years ago, and it pissed me off so bad. I said, here I am. You know, I've been in this community for decades, and this little bitch is still following me around the store. And now I got my kids in there, and she's following me around the store with my kids. So I took my business elsewhere. You understand what I'm saying? Enough's enough. But you talked about how the white people could come over here. They have something called sleeper cells. Just watch any movie, you know what it is. And they're coming over here with their blonde hair, blue eyes, red hair, green eyes, and they learn wherever they at. If they're down in the South, they learn to pick up a white person's Southern accent. All right. I heard they used to do that when we was at war with Germany. Germans were over here, or Russians or something. They were over here and they learned how to talk like white Americans over here. And they were sleeper cells. And when it's time for them to bust a move, yeah, and they bust a move. You know what I mean? But they, you know, the enemy will be right here in their face, but they're still looking at black and brown over here. And then next thing you know, the inevitable happens. And that's what these movies are about. Man, I can't wait till we talk about Arlington Road, man.
Yeah, Arlington Road is even deeper than this one.
Yes.
It amazingly starred Jeff Bridges also. Jeff Bridges had a good run, didn't he?
He had a really good run in the 90s, didn't he?
Good run.
Yeah.
You know, what was that other film he did? I think Michael or something. He had a good run. And this film, it has flashbacks plus a little bit of a flashback to set the tone of the story. And Tommy Lee Jones's character is really, he's a what's the word I'm looking for? Psychopath.
Yeah.
Psychopath. Because he'll kill his own flesh and blood to get an agenda done. Right. And it's no more than what the job is at the moment. It could be like, it's not grand scheme or plan. It's whatever the thing is at the moment. If it costs your life, so be it. We just got to get it done. That's his mindset. And they show that early in the film when he's in his cell reading, and they bring his cellie back, who's been in the hole for a duration. You know, when they throw someone in the hole, it's usually 30 days or more or something like that, right? So the cellie comes back and he's reading. He's like, I'm sorry, I got thrown in the hole. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, man. It's your nature. You like to fight. You know, they're over in Ireland now. It's like in the prison. And he was like, are we still gonna do it? You still got it set up? He was like, oh, for sure, definitely. And he's like, you go get some rest, get you some rest, you know, sleep it off. Now, he's talking about it and asking him, we're still gonna do it. Is the escape that we planned still green lit? And Tommy Lee Jones assured him. But he meant it for himself, not for his partner. And they show that, and it was like that right there. See, one of the things, like, I can say, because our society and culture has changed. At the time when the film came out, just watching this, it's dramatic, right? It's like, wow, it's like, dude, he's cold-blooded. But the whole thing about the sleeper cell and everything and what you mentioned, it hadn't really crystallized with us culturally yet. It was kind of still new, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even watching him do what he did to escape from over there, it was kind of like, wow, that's cold-blooded, you know? But still, there's no relative nature of it. It's like, because that's how they are, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they are, all right. But when you say they, you got to say all of them, because where they come from. And guess what? What do they usually do when they come here? Get on the police force.
They're from Kinahan land, if y'all don't know.
Dude, Boston.
Whoa.
It was interesting that they even laid that out like that. Now, Jeff Bridges' dad, who played in the film as a elder to him, that, you know, they were familiar from the motherland and everything. But that guy was, he was still a part of the same group.
Yep.
And was over here and had retired over here, right? He was a retired former cop and everything. So it's like, dude, if you think about this stuff, there's levels. And when Forrest Whitaker's character stopped being cocky and brash and everything, he was able to see some stuff. He was like, wait a minute. He's looking over at Jeff Bridges' character, you know, I forget what his name was as far as his American name, but what was his name from Ireland? Liam.
You know how is Liam in Ireland as common a name as Johnson for black people in America?
Or Michael, or you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
Dude, Liam is like, they spit him out like, Liam. They just spit him out, you know what I mean? But that was his character. And it was so interesting because you could see Forrest Whitaker's character was dealing with some issues of conflict there, because first of all, he's in Boston and on the police department. He's dealing with a whole different culture right there. So he's got to have that cockiness as a built-in defensive mechanism, so to speak, because he's not really accepted. You know what I mean? And even when dude was having his wedding, which Forrest crashed because he was going to be the new replacement for Jeff Bridges' character, who was so-called retiring and getting married. They were making fun of him. They were making fun of him. Oh, who invited Michael Jackson? Because he was down there dancing at the wedding and stuff. And, you know, there's so much. It's like, and I'm trying to be reserved with my words, but at the same time, I want more people, if you haven't seen this film, please, and when we review films, you guys got to check them out if you haven't seen them.
You got to.
And even if you haven't seen them and we're talking about them, the recommendation is that you please revisit it, because you're going to gain something out of the experience. I sat there and watched that whole film last night, paused it when I was having something to eat or whatever, went right back to it, because I was like, wow. Because I hadn't watched it in a number of years, but I've got it in my movie collection and have watched it a couple of times. You know, I'm very familiar with the music that plays in there. They've got a great deal of U2 playing in there from,
of course,
I think when they had their hit, the Joshua Tree, that album from back then in the early 90s.
It's an Irish band.
Yeah, but just a bit of insight as to some of these people, because, you know, when we talk about fighters in the sport of boxing, there were a number of Irish fighters that were very solid fighters in the sport throughout the history. And though you don't see them unless you're over there in Ireland, because they still produce them out of Ireland, but those that have kind of, what's the word I'm looking, blended into the U.S. culture, they don't want to represent in that way, but that doesn't mean that fortitude isn't in them.
Right.
That's why you have to be careful. Some of the seed has spilled over into other elements of sporting and entertainment too. It's like some of this UFC and Ultimate Fighting and stuff. Some of them folks are there. Some of them are in your local fire department and police departments. Some of them have gone into some of the political spectrums of your everyday life. And you see the guy up there and you be like, man, I don't like that guy, those people, this and that or whatever. But that person wouldn't hesitate to cut your throat.
Yeah.
And see, that's what, and so what I'm trying to say, and like I said, in a kind of guarded way, you need to know about people.
Yeah.
Don't adopt the old good old boy way of looking at people from outside the U.S. because there are some people who come from certain parts of the world that they just have a different psychology and everything.
Yeah.
And your life don't mean that to them. You know what I'm saying?
No, it doesn't.
It's one of the reasons too, Drew, like, we're not going into talking about boxing, but I wanted to say this, coming out of last week's situation where we saw Canelo and Bud, there was something else that took place that I covered and nobody else covered. And I talked about Paddy Donovan and Lewis Crocker, two Irishmen who fought for Boots Ennis's vacated IBF welterweight title.
Yeah.
And that was a rematch between those two guys. The first fight, Paddy Donovan was winning easily, but couldn't help himself from fouling because he was just that kind of,
I remember that
kind of dude mentally. And in the rematch, he thought he would come out and box and just outbox Lewis Crocker. And Lewis Crocker beat his ass in the second fight. It was two different fights.
Different guys, yeah.
Two different fights, but the mentalities were the same. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like whoever is in a fight with either of those guys is in a real doggone fight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because you're not looking at their talent and ability. You have to look at the nature of the man. That's the difference of what I'm trying to say. And so Tommy Lee Jones's character in this film, he's that guy. And you have to basically delete him to be done with him.
Yeah.
Because
these guys, they have a habit of being terrorists in movies or playing in terrorist movies, whether they're the hero or the villain. Tommy Lee Jones was also in was it Under Siege in the submarine with Steven Seagal? He was a terrorist there.
Yeah.
Yep. Forrest Whitaker was also in Vantage Point. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
He was in Vantage Point, man. Damn. Yeah. That was Vantage Point. That's another movie we should discuss. Vantage Point. I like movies like that. I really do, man.
Yeah, man.
Vantage Point was a really good film. But I'm saying it again. Y'all can skip the crying game. Forrest Whitaker, it turns out he was a creep in that. And did you watch the movie when he was a samurai?
Oh yeah, Ghost Dog.
Ghost Dog, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a hitman. I only seen that one time.
One time I saw it, yeah.
I saw it one time. So whatever. Ghost Dog.
but yeah, this one particular murder in the film that Tommy Lee Jones's character planned out. He was hoping that Jeff Bridges' character would be the one called to try to defuse this bomb. It was the bombing of that bridge. And the way he set the device up, there was a device planted under the bridge, and the explosive was pointing toward the bridge.
Right.
Underneath the bridge. And to defuse something like that, they would need to take that device out from a distance if they can, to prevent the explosion from damaging the bridge or whatever. But Jones was so intelligent with what he was doing that he thought like the bomb experts thought. And like they say, well, the only way to really get that and take it out is to hide in this spot, this crevice. And we could take it out with a cannon shot, to blow it up.
Right.
And he had already surmised that that's what they would do. So he not only had the explosive pointed up to the bridge, but he had a secondary explosive that he planted in the damn device.
Yep.
That would ricochet off of when they deactivated it, and it would hit this metal piece of metal door or beam or something that was under the bridge.
Yeah.
Ricochet and bounced it right into the corner where the person who's taking the damn device out.
And that was so well thought out.
Dude.
It's like, man, talk about leaving no trace. What the fudge?
Dude, that was, and then when Jeff Bridges went to look at his partner that was part of his bomb team, that the one that it ended up taking out, did you see his head?
What head?
His head was smashed, bro. Like it got crushed on one side. It was like, and they showed it. It was like a brief split second show. It was like 1 second, 2 seconds, and then they cut to something else. But he had opened that body bag and looked at old boy. And
that
he
is
was
a
like,
calculation to do things like that. You got to be a mastermind of just pure evil. And from what I understand, they really do stuff like that.
yes, absolutely, bro.
Oh.
Absolutely. And so seeing him do that kind of, it's like, and all he did was think of ways to design the doggone explosives, bro.
Yeah, that's brutal. I remember that. Yeah,
when he took out Lloyd Bridges, when he had him tied up on that beam house.
I don't mean to laugh.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before we get to that part, and Jeff Bridges had told him, stay out of it, stay out of it. But he was like, he went to the bar, O'Malley's, I think they called it.
Of course it'd be O'Malley's.
Yeah, he went to the bar and they were sitting up there having a drink and they was like yapping it up and everything. But he was like, hey, I gotta go drain the vein. He was like, watch my beer. And he's like, he went back there. There was a payphone back there. So he called Jeff Bridges up and he was telling, I got him. He's down here at the O'Malley's, this and that or whatever. And he was like, what you doing if I told you don't get involved with the guy or whatever? And Tommy Lee Jones comes back there while he was in the bathroom. And Drew and Chad, he had dude's beer mug. He said, I was watching your beer for you. And he beat the crap out of that old man.
There's so many what the F moments in this.
He beat that old man up. Dude.
He beat his ass, man.
And then when Jeff Bridges saw him, that nigga had about 200 bombs planning on it. He said, wait, I'm gonna go get my tool bag. And the old man said, shit, I'm getting ready to go out. You can't do nothing.
That was wrong,
shit.
Man. That was wrong.
Oh my goodness.
That's a scene. Damn, I wish we could see this, y'all gotta see that scene, man.
It ain't funny. But it is funny because Tommy Lee Jones was like, I'm gonna teach your ass. You know, it's like, Drew, when the people came after the detonation, it was a crater so big it looked like a meteor had left.
Yo.
Oh my goodness, man.
That was upsetting.
And Tommy Lee Jones wasn't playing in that movie, man. I don't think there's ever been a guy to play a villain as good as him, man.
I think it's a toss-up. It was him and another movie he was in, No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
That was bad. Oh, man, that was bad.
And if you really want to get mad at him, check out that movie Cobb, where he playing the old baseball player Ty Cobb. Oh, yes. Man. Ty Cobb, boy, he sure didn't like your folks, man. He sure didn't like them.
Negative. Not at all. Yo.
Man,
you know what, Stormy? We need to do a show on the most darkest villains in movies. Not like superhero movies.
Right.
But like dude from No Country for Old Men. He was like crazy, and he was scary.
Stand right there. Don't move.
Yeah. He was like, yo, he just took the quarter and said, flip it, call it. Remember when he went to that gas station?
Mm-hmm.
And that man knew he was gonna die. Crazy stuff.
Man.
That woman in that office, she was about to get that work too, but somebody was in the bathroom. But yeah, we gotta definitely do that. There's gotta be a top 10. Gotta be.
Remember Robert De Niro in Cape Fear?
Bro. Bro.
Yep.
There was something wrong with him. What about what's his name? Michael Keaton, when he played that dude that they had to let out of prison to do something. I forgot the name of that film.
Michael Keaton. Oh yeah.
Damn, what movie?
Man, there's so many of these films.
I don't know it.
Let me give us some stats on Blown Away. Blown Away was it was released in 1994, July 1st, in the U.S. It had a budget of $28 million and brought in a box office of $52.7 million. The critical response on Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 38% based on 24 reviews, with an average rating of 5.2 out of 10. Audiences gave the film an average grade of B on an A+ to F scale. The film has been widely criticized for its portrayals of Irish accents by American actors, with the accent of Tommy Lee Jones's character being described by one publication as beyond the worst Northern Irish accent you are ever likely to hear.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, well, if you ask me, I thought his accent went well with the character that he was playing. It was like he had a I don't give a darn approach to life and other people. They even showed him like riding his bicycle and watching people, and he would laugh at certain things that weren't necessarily funny. It's just he was really off, man. And see, that's what I think that you know, when somebody's really good, like a Tommy Lee Jones, certain subtleties get overlooked.
Yeah.
Because he had a pretty darn good run too.
Yeah, he had a few good films that he had put out. He had a few good films. In the 90s, he definitely had a great run. Him and well, no, that wasn't Tommy Lee Jones. What am I talking about? I'm thinking of Warren Beatty. He played.
They say that MGM advertised the film very heavily, spending $7 million on television spots. That's wow. That's a lot, even for 1994, right? That's a lot.
Yeah, that is 94. Yeah, that's a hell of a lot too. Ooh. They so he pretty much did well. I'm stuck on the accent. I guess, you know, people from Ireland get pissed off at it, but you know what? They'll get over it. Them getting mad at his accent is like me watching Jackie Chan rumble in the Bronx saying, "Hey, that ain't the Bronx."
Exactly.
Who cares? I'm gonna see him fight and flip over shit. Who cares? I didn't care. Nobody from the Bronx looked like that. I promise you.
Yeah, man.
Oh shoot. But the premise of the movie though, I mean, he was a terrorist. He was a terrorist because, you know, for some reason that's a flag word on social platforms. Yeah, he's one of those. He's a bomb threat. That's what he was. And if y'all know anything about what would they call Stormy? The IRA?
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys was running around just blowing shit up. You know, those guys was gangster as hell. You know, they were running. What year were they running around? I think I was a kid when they were doing that.
I think it was the late 80s.
Late 80s?
Mid to late 80s.
You know, I remember seeing it on the news a bunch. I didn't know what the hell it was. You know, until I got older, you know, FBI, CIA, IRS, the NBA on NBC, you know, the IRA. I was like, who are they? It was like Irish people running around blowing stuff up. I was like, what? What is that? What's going on? Who pissed them off? But Tommy Lee was a lunatic in this film. He was an absolute lunatic. Now, how he was stopped, if you want to call it getting stopped, a guy like that. See, that's why you guys need to watch the movie. You see this picture right here? You know what he's holding? That's a remote control, and it's gonna do something bad. He's taunting somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Stormy, he played this damn role, bro.
He did, bro. I'm telling you, I watched the movie just last night or yesterday, and I'm like sitting there and like, because this is the kind of movie viewer I am. If you guys don't know this about me, I'll share it with no problem. I allow myself to get absorbed into what I'm watching because it's an escape moment for me.
Yes.
And if it's something that's very good, I'll feel it. I'll allow my emotions to be attached to what I'm experiencing. If it's crap, same thing. I'll be like, oh, this is some garbage, you know, but which is why there are some films that I get emotional and it hits me in the feels. Like, and I'm not ashamed to say it because that lets me know that I have some humanity in me.
Right.
You know, Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Every time I watch the Avengers Endgame, and it's that scene where Cap is about to face Thanos and his army by himself, and you hear Sam, Cap,
on your left.
and you hear me on your left, and he starts flying through that portal, and then you see Black Panther walk through there, and they all look at
me. That was a scene.
I get emotional when I see that scene. That scene, and at the end of the film, at the end of the credits, when they start showing all of the original Avengers with their signatures on the screen, because I sat through 10 years of that storytelling to have it culminate with that type of ending. It struck me. And some people told me that Kevin Feige stole that from the Star Trek films, because he said that after they completed the Star Trek films, they had done something similar for the Star Trek actors. But I didn't see that. And I have the films, but I guess I didn't watch the credits all the way through or whatever for them to show me that. But I have to say that when I watched that, especially in particular Endgame, man, it gets me every time. I'll be like, whoa, you know.
Oh, Stormy, write this down. Sad deaths in movies.
Sad deaths. Okay.
Yeah. Just remembered something.
Okay. Remember what happened to Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea?
Boy, that was funny death. That was kind of...
Dude, I mean, they have done something even, I mean, that was like, what? And it came out of nowhere. Anyway, but yeah. So that's what I allow myself to do. I allow myself to get absorbed into these films, which is why, like, you know, watching this film, because I've seen it so many times now, that it allows me to just, like, you know, escape for a moment, you know. So, but yeah, these images from the movie, Jeff Bridges sneaking up on him in that abandoned ship where he was, kind of crazy, you know. Adrian Vitt is out there. He says the Lord of the Rings trilogy gave me that feeling multiple times across the trilogy. Well, I tell you, watching that gave me quite the similar feeling of the Sam and Cap moment in Endgame, coming through that portal, when all of the hobbits reunited at the end of the, you know, at the end of the film, when they were all there and Sam walks in and the other ones, you know, and they all come together. It's like that they had been through so much, you know what I'm saying? It was like they was holding each other and everything. I was like, oh man, it kind of like had me feeling a little sad for that too. It's like, yeah. But again, when directors can take you to so many different places of heights and lows of emotion and bring something like that out of you, they've done their job, and they've done their job well, you know. So that's why I say I like to allow myself to, you know, get absorbed into films.
Yeah.
I don't just be sitting there with my arms folded like, what the hell is this? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know. But this right here is that moment I was telling you about.
Bro. Y'all gotta see. Yo, listen, man. How you wait, man? Listen. You know that's beef. I mean, come on, just beat me up. Why you got to put a whole bomb vest, bro? This is just disrespectful, man. How do you do this, man? You know what, man? He was sick. He was sick.
And he was, listen, while Jeff Bridges is talking to old boy right there, he was just like 2 stories up in the window looking down on him. He had rolled the window down halfway and turned the light out. He was just watching him through the window. He wanted to see. Man, that dude was crazy, bro.
He's an absolute maniac. Absolute maniac. But you know what? When you first saw this, I'm watching it like, bro, what's wrong? Yo, I was in the theater like, who the hell does this? But it was funny. You know what? There was people kind of like chuckling in the theater. They were like, yo, what the hell? All of this? Man. That was messed up.
You know he wasn't going to survive. Let's just.
Yeah. I mean, come on. How you get out of this? How you get out of this? And I don't give a damn. The biggest bomb expert. You're like, man, you clip one wire and it's curtains. And remember, y'all, this is 1994. Nowadays, they got robots. They roll in from a mile out.
No,
and
they had a robot in this. They had a robot. Remember when he saved that lady at the university? They had a robot. She had to keep typing because the bomb was on her keyboard and everything.
Right. It was nothing like how they have today.
Man.
He has dynamite in his pocket. Look at that. That is OD, man. That's crazy. Lord,
he was trying to. I can't even get it out. He was trying to send old boy to God.
Come on.
He was like,
well,
you might not go to that other place, but you getting the hell out of here.
Like, yo, you want us to call somebody? I don't know. This ain't shit.
And that's an old man too. And like, why you gonna do that to an old man like that, bro?
And you know what? Because he's sick like that. He just likes seeing shit blow up.
He was like, man. But he told him before he beat him up, because you see how beat up he is, right? He told him, I was watching your beer for you.
Watching your beer for you. Man. Jerk.
Oh my goodness, man.
Dude was a jerk.
Tommy Lee Jones, boy. I tell you, that's gotta be one of his best roles right there. It gotta be.
Man, he played that role, man.
When Jeff Bridges snuck up on him in this scene right here, when he was on the boat, and he was sitting there and he was singing "Happy Birthday," and Jeff Bridges, snuck up behind him, and he blew the candle out, and the candle relit. It was one of them trick candles.
Candles, yeah.
And he laughed. He was like, "See that?"
Yo, this character was sick as hell. Sick.
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh man. But he's sick to the point when the film's over, you like him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I really, like this guy. But he was a maniac. And listen, guys like this, there's no negotiating with him.
No.
No, you don't lock him up. You get rid of him.
They tried that.
Yeah, they tried that. They did. Now, they tried that. You get rid of him. Get rid of him.
He was making bombs out of all kind of stuff. That's the thing that I found very interesting. That he had the aptitude of like knowing certain chemicals what will make for something explosive.
It's sort of like I don't know if there's a word for it, but like a pyromaniac. They don't think they're doing something wrong. They just like seeing things burn with disregard to everything around. he was on that type of time, but he was, I don't know what the word is for, but he was beyond a errorist. He was a chemist that just liked seeing things pop.
Yeah.
And that's what you was dealing with. So there's no reasoning with people like that. You know, making bombs out of chemicals and a toothpick, a pencil, and a pen, and he makes a bomb out of it. MacGyver type stuff.
That's just like when he rigged old girl's car up, her Jeep. When Jeff Bridges finally got under there and he looked under there, you see all that stuff, and he was using all those kids' toys and stuff. It's like the little robot clown and stuff.
Yeah.
He was using all of that stuff, man.
He was getting very creative, wasn't he? He was getting very creative. I mean, goodness. Unbelievable. But he was a maniac. What the movie did, though, they wanted to take you into the mind of a sinister human being, where it went beyond a cause, because normally people do things in the name of something.
Mm-hmm.
T-wrists, let's just call them that, T-wrists. They do things in the name of whatever cause they're fighting for. This dude was just a maniac. No cause, he was just doing things. And that's what I'm saying. He didn't do it in the name of anything in particular. He was just crazy, who had a know-how of taking your child's Nintendo and making it into a bomb. He was nice like that. And he was running around the mean streets of Boston, and you had to track him down, and you had to stop this guy, man. That scene where Jeff Bridges put the gun behind his head, in real life, you just shoot him. You just shoot him, and just try and figure out, to see guys like that, they're so scary that you got to catch and be like, yo, you got something else going on around the city?
Yeah.
You got to be concerned about people like that. And that's pretty much what that is what Unthinkable with Samuel L. Jackson is about.
Yeah.
That was that, and that film is foul. When we talk about that, and Arlington Road, oh my God.
Yeah.
Stormy, when that was over, I didn't see that in the movies. I saw that in the crib.
Uh-huh.
That was one of those films when it ended, you're like, what? You're like, what? You mean?
Yep.
What? Oh my God. Bro, I was left empty. There's no feel good. I'm telling y'all right now, there's no feel good. Watch that film before we get to it. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a homework assignment for everybody out there listening. Check out Arlington Road, man.
When did it came out? I think it came out in 99.
Yeah, 97.
1999.
Something like that. 99. Yeah.
Starring Jeff Bridges, Tim Robbins, and John Cusack. Oh shit. You got Cash App, brother?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up now.
Man, I was so empty. I was like, what the bro. Oh man, that was bad.
Yeah. Salute to the brother EJ out there with the Cash App. He says, praise Godzilla.
All praises, all praises.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I'm writing
Yeah,
stuff down for these shows right now. It's all coming to me. Oh man. 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 Wait, y'all, watch Arlington Road. If y'all could find it, I know it's on one of these. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Paramount. If you could find that film, first of all, when the movie starts, you're gonna be messed up. Like, what the hell is this?
Yep. Just let them check it out, bro.
Yo, just watch it. I'm not gonna say no more.
That's gonna be a film, and let me see. It says we got 12 people watching at the moment. Can I see a show of put a 1 in the chat if you have not seen Arlington Road? If you have not seen it, put a 1 in the chat.
If you ain't never seen it, please. Hey, Storm, you know when I saw it? It was 1999. DVDs was still kind of like cutting edge technology. There was no Blu-ray back then. My boy had it on DVD. He says, yo, watch. And I'm going to tell you when I watched it, I was homesick from work and I had the flu. And he said, you in the crib? I said, yeah. He said, yo, I'm going to drop off a movie. I want you to watch it. And I sat back and I watched. I said, yo, what the what?
Okay, check this out. We got Eric Jordan, Adrian Viet, and the Village Brothers. Salute to all of you guys. If you haven't seen Arlington Road, Jimmy Bernard hasn't seen it. Please go watch that movie. We're going to do a show on that film,
yes,
which is more deeper than Blown Away. Blown Away is on a scale of 1 to 10. Blown Away is like maybe 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
But Arlington Road is a 10.
You know why? Because at this current age, because this was done in 99, at this age, what we're living now, post 9/11, you're going to look at that film a lot different. Now, I saw it when it came out, but after 9/11, and in New York, the shit that didn't make the news was like, yo, they were out to get us. Now watch Arlington Road, knowing what you know, you're going to look at that like, oh, crap. From when the movie starts, it's going to throw you off like, huh? Wait, what the hell is this? Yeah, man. Yeah. From start to finish, that movie's going to goof you up. Yeah. Holy cow. Bro, I watched that movie, Stormy, one time. And it's not to say that it don't have replay value, but that's how nerve-wracking it made me. Like, oh, shit. Bro.
And everything and everybody ain't what they appear to be.
Nothing in there is what they appear to be. Nothing. Watch that film. Get your popcorn, get your favorite sandwich, and you know what? Eat fast because it's going to emotionally take you out.
And I'll tell you another thing, too. After you've watched it, don't spoil it for someone who hasn't watched it.
Watch. Yeah, that's right. Don't do that.
Don't spoil it for someone who hasn't watched it. Just recommend it to them. Recommend it to them.
Yep, that's definitely a movie you watch on your own. Just watch it, y'all. Don't. You know what? Don't even Wikipedia it. I don't want y'all to know entirely what it's about. Just do your due diligence. Find it somewhere. If you gotta rent it for a couple of dollars, rent it and watch it. Stormy, it's about like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's about 2 hours long. But it's worth it, y'all. Cut your phones off. Don't be on Instagram. I know y'all can't watch a movie without being on Instagram now. Put your phones away and watch it, bro. This movie was like, there's not many films that leaves me like, yo, what the hell was that? That's one of them. That and Human Centipede. Say, what the fuck? What the hell is this?
I haven't watched that, bro.
Don't.
I can't bring myself to. I saw the trailer for it.
Don't.
And I was like, and I got the Blu-ray.
Do not.
I got the Blu-ray. That sucker is still sealed.
Yo, wait a minute. Wait, hold on, Stormy. Did I tell you about that dumbass film? All right, listen. This really happened to me. Okay, there's Human Centipede 1 and 2. right? Part 2, right? Now, part 1, I didn't like really watch it, right? The story behind that is when it came out, I was kind of like messing with somebody, I messed with some girl, and she said, come to the house and watch it. And I really didn't watch it. I ended up goofing around with her, right? But part 2, I watched it and I'm like, yo, this is disgusting, right? So I take the DVD, right? And I throw it in my garbage, right?
Oh yeah, you told this story. Go ahead.
Bro.
Tell it again.
So I'm getting up and going to work and I'm looking. I'm like, why the DVD on the kitchen table? So I said, what the fuck? So I ran out the door, right? So I called the crib. I said, yo, listen, why is that DVD? And Shorty was like, oh, nah, you know, I thought you threw it in the garbage by accident. I said, no, I meant to throw it out. I said, put that shit in the garbage. It's disgusting, right? So then puts it in the garbage, right? I come home, it's not there, right? So then I go to my boy's house, right? And I'm talking with him, whatever, and I look on his kitchen table, I see the DVD. And I'm like, hey,
the
yo.
DVD that won't die.
It won't die. I said, wait a minute. I said, hey, yo, isn't that the DVD that you gave me? He said, yeah. I said, yo, I threw it out. He said, yo, my sister was taking out the trash and saw it in the trash bag and thought that somebody threw it out by accident. So she took it and cleaned it off and now it's here. I said, what the fuck? No, we meant to throw that out. Right? But wait, it gets better. This nigga throws it out, right? A week later, we go to my boy's house. We about to like go to a bar. On his living room table, there's the DVD. And we're looking at it. And I'm like, hold up, did this nigga, but the case is kind of beat up now. So I'm like, hey, listen, did you order that? He was like, oh, nah. You know what happened? Y'all were talking about that movie so much. I went to take the trash out and I saw the shit sitting on top of a bag. I opened it up and the DVD's in it. I wiped it off, brought it upstairs, and it worked. So I'm gonna watch it when we get back. We was like, yo, the DVD won't die. Yo, that's a true story. Like 2 weeks of this shit not wanting to die.
That is crazy as hell, man.
No, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And then he got the nerve to call us. He's like, yo, man, why y'all got me watching this shit? We was like, yo, we told you to throw it away. And he was the last person to have it. I said, what'd you do with it? He said, man, I gave it to my cousin. I said, watch, your cousin gonna call you talking about, yo, we threw it out every time and it keeps coming back to someone's house. That shit was possessed. Get it away from me. The DVD would not go away. I don't know where it is now. It's probably in somebody's house. God damn.
That is crazy, man.
I told my wife, I said, that was not an accident. I meant to throw that out. She's like, oh, okay, I'll throw it back out. I go to my boy's house. He was like, yeah, you know. I was like, yo, is that did you order it? He says, nah. My fucking sister says she found it. I was like, no, why they digging in garbage? No. So then she threw it out. And then a week later, I'm at my boy's house, my other boy's house, and it's sitting on his coffee table. I was looking at it like, how the fuck? I'm like, yo, hold on. Y'all playing, right? Y'all joking with me, right?
Dude,
man,
that's one of the craziest stories ever right there.
Man, that was funny as hell,
man.
That DVD did not yeah, you're right, Adrian. We should have just burned it and watched it burn. That was wild. That was funny as hell. I started to get scared, Stormy. My heart was racing. I said, they was talking. I'm just looking at the coffee table. I'm like, I was like, yo, what are you doing with that? He said, oh, nah, yo, somebody threw it out. And I saw it. Y'all were talking about it. I was like, yo, there go the shit right here. I was like, yo, you picked it up out the. I said, nigga, we threw that. I said, that's the one you gave me. He said, yep. I said, I threw it out, and then your sister. He said, yep. And I was like, yo, nigga, and then you. He's like, I guess. I said, if you don't throw this shit out, don't. Oh, man, Stormy, that DVD right now is in somebody's house. That DVD has a mind of its own. It's Chucky.
That is absolutely absurd.
3 different people's houses in the course of 2 weeks, man. That was funny as hell. They ain't got enough to call us like, yo, man, this movie disgusting, man. Why would you tell me to watch?
I never watched it. I got it. It's still sealed.
It's the first one?
Yeah.
The first one? Oh, no, bro. Don't watch that one. And the second one is about a copycat dude that watched the movie and was trying to act out the film. Don't unwrap it.
I saw the trailer. The trailer made me be like, you know what? No. And then
I think it's like French or something.
I forget how I ended up with the damn DVD. DVD or Blu-ray, but I tell you, I didn't open it. I didn't open it.
Yo, listen.
Sitting there.
That movie
probably the box might be empty, and the one that y'all been passing around is still out there. The disc.
It would not go away. Yo, you should have saw my face. Everyone was associating and talking, and my head's like this, and I'm looking at the coffee table, and I'm like backing away, like, yo. So I'm like tapping. I was like, yo, how'd you get that? What are you doing with that? He was like, oh, yo, I found it. I was like, yo, this DVD will not die. That shit was funny as hell.
Now you walk around, you see somebody with that bad boy hanging around their neck on a necklace or something. You better break camp, man.
Nah, I'm shooting them.
My precious. Possessed.
Oh shit! The Human Centipede. Oh, they made a third one? No, I can't. There's 3 of them. They made a third one.
I will never see it.
No,
I will never, ever, ever see those films.
Nope.
No way.
I didn't watch the first one. I just went to Shorty's house because that's what she wanted to do. She really wanted me to come over. I didn't watch it. Second one I watched, and I said, oh, man, this is bad. Now, if there's a third one, I'll pass. But goodness. That, whew. Stormy, you ain't even take it out the wrapper. Don't bother. Nope. I'm not recommending it. Don't do it.
Don't worry. You ain't got to tell me twice.
Why?
Well, let's get some final thoughts and words, bro, because I know you got to do your show.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun tonight. But Blown Away, I recommend it. If you got like a sick sense of humor, Tommy Lee Jones is your guy in this film because he's a nut. He's the Joker without the white face.
Yeah,
that's what he is. That's what he is. He's the Joker without the white face, and he's one of those villains that there's no rationale. You got to blow him away. You got to. But I recommend it. You know, this is a popcorn film, definitely. You're trying to figure things out. You know what I mean? But I recommend it, man. So we don't talk about things like movies like this unless we don't recommend it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I recommend this. You can find it. I think this is also on Paramount. You can find this. We got like 1 million channels. You could definitely find this film. Man, but salute to y'all, man. Salute to you, Stormy. Slam dunk as usual. Can't wait to see what we're doing next week.
Yeah.
I'm already writing stuff down right here too. So yeah, hell yeah. So I'll see y'all at Pep Talk. And salute to you, good brother. Another great show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for contributing and being a part of this, man. It's like we always find, some way to move the needle, so to speak, when we do this show. And I'm glad because we're true nerds. We're
Yes.
nerds for the culture, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no crime. There's no harm in that. Sometimes we find stuff to cry about, complain about, cheer about, jeer about. It's like that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. So, but yeah, I want to tell everybody take that positive energy on over to Drew Titan's Painful Excellent podcast coming up in just a few minutes, and we're gonna close things out here. But we'll be talking soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
Have a good show. Have a good show.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, so as we get ready to close things out, man, if you haven't had a chance to see Blown Away, this film, please, it's a highly recommended film. But get yourselves together to watch Arlington Road, because we're going to do that show. I won't say next week, but it's going to be close, maybe the week after or something, because we're going to keep that mode going of this type of fair, because the climate that we're living in right now, it will kind of raise your flags and your alert levels, and you kind of need that. You need your head on the swivel in these times. So with that being said, we're gonna head on up out of here. I thank everybody for being here for us this evening. If you didn't catch us from the beginning, go back and catch the replay. Rewind, it's very kind. And I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. We'll be back next week for another Nerds. Peace to everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week ahead.